Despicable Me characters in real life. We often say that art imitates life, but what happens when life imitates art? Picture this. You see your favorite cartoon character in person, except they're human and not like the animation style you're used to. Wouldn't that be fun? Today we'll be delving into 10 real-life people that look like Despicable Me characters, so stay tuned, because you just might see the real-life version of your favorite character.
If I'd asked you out on a date, what would you have said?
Are you kidding me? Yes!
10. Lucy Wilde. Lucy is the perfect character for an enemies to lovers trope, and we must admit she's one of our favorite characters. A pivotal figure in Despicable Me 2, she sets out hating Gru, but it surprisingly ends in a classic romance. Lucy is a savvy and fashionable woman. She has big green eyes, short bangs, and bright orange hair that is pulled back in a bun. She also has freckles in her light complexion. She frequently rocks a scarf with pink and white polka dots and a turquoise spaghetti strap slip dress. Sometimes Lucy covers her clothing with the coordinating turquoise cloak and dons turquoise sunglasses. She is typically dressed in ridiculous 6-inch-high silver strappy sandals with very high heels. She's also seen wearing red nail polish on her toes and fingers throughout the film, a true diva. Her character was absolutely bodied by this cosplayer who not only nailed her outfit, but all nailed Lucy's signature poses.
Not Victor anymore. Victor was my nerd name. Now I am Vector.
9. Vector Perkins. Victor Perkins, also known as Vector, as a villain in the 2022 prequel Minions: The Rise of Gru and the main antagonist of the first Despicable Me. Here is the son of Mr. Perkins, the head of the Bank of Evil, and a young, aspiring supervillain. He was also the first antagonist to battle Gru. Due to Vector's evil deeds, Gru is inspired to become a hero and adopt Margot, Edith, and Agnes. His style is a little wacky, just like his character. Throughout the movie, we see him wearing an orange and white tracksuit that can be transformed into a flight suit so the wearer may fly, is always seen on Vector. Agnes frequently misinterprets his clothing as pajamas, and this really annoys Vector. Vector also wears a pair of big, black glasses. Eventually, he develops a little potbelly that isn't covered by his tracksuit. How exactly does one pull off this look? The German cosplayer did such a good job recreating Vector's look that we were almost convinced she was Vector.
Is a villain with the potential to serve greatness.
8. Scarlet Overkill. Scarlet Overkill is a well-known supervillain who hates Kevin and is the wife of Herb Overkill. In the movie Minions, she serves as the main adversary. Scarlet is a glamorous, cunning, and ambitious villain, out to rule the globe and establish herself as the super villainess, and her choice of outfits is stunning. Scarlet has long, thick black hair, fair skin, and green eyes. She is typically decked out in a black choker, black pantyhose, black high heels, a red strapless dress, and black elbow gloves. Very femme fatale, isn't it? This cosplayer really went above and beyond with this look and nailed it to a T. Everything from the red dress to the hair is executed so perfectly. It feels like Scarlet walked out from the TV.
This is the best party ever!
Number 7. Agnes Grew. Along with her older sisters, Margot and Edith, Agnes Grew is one of the 3 adopted daughters of Gru and Lucy. Of the 3 sisters, she is the youngest. Known for her love of unicorns, Agnes is the typical 6-year-old child with cute puppy dog eyes and an adorable personality. She appears in several of the many movies as well as all 4 of the Despicable Me movies. And you'll recognize Agnes as the character that typically wears blue overalls, a t-shirt with brown and yellow stripes, and white sneakers with yellow socks. If you think Agnes's look is limited to animated movies, think again, as you view this equally adorable child in this picture. She even has the same bright red scrunchie holding her black hair in an upward ponytail.
Do you still think it's a great sale day?
6. Miss Hattie. It's not often we see fictional characters from completely different genres that resemble each other, but that's what happened in this case. Miss Hattie runs the orphanage Margot, Edith, and Agnes attend, and her appearance is downright deceiving. Miss Hattie has dark hair that is curled into tight bangs and an incredibly voluptuous physique. She frequently dons a pink cardigan, matching pink shirt, and high heels. Looks so sweet, doesn't she? Ironically, Miss Hattie's outlook differs from her joyful and upbeat appearance. Miss Hattie is a somber, mean, and indifferent woman in contrast to these qualities, but can you recognize who she looks like in real life? Harry Potter's Dolores Umbridge, of course. Do you see it?
I poked a hole in my juice box.
Number 5. Edith Grew. Since Edith is the middle kid, often neglected by their parents, she is currently the least explored of the 3 sisters, which makes sense. However, we think she's an interesting character with more layers than meets the eye. She resembles Gru in many ways, including being incredibly destructive, tomboyish, and having a macabre sense of humor. She's initially timid and quiet since she doesn't like the thought of being an adopted child. She displays her evil, destructive side as she casually enters an Iron Maiden and begins tinkering with Gru's lethal weaponry in his lab, after seeing all his torture tools and weapons. Edith has freckles, light blonde shaggy hair, and dark bluish-gray eyes. Even in bed, she wears a pink chulo with stripes, and she favors the color pink, which is a startling opposite to her pessimistic demeanor. Here's a picture of someone dressed as her that's so accurate it really could be Edith in human form. She's missing the bored expression, but otherwise, it's perfect.
Can I drink this?
Do you want to explode?
Number 4. Dr. Nefario. Dr. Nefario is a slightly overweight mad scientist stereotype. He usually appears wearing either plaid-patterned pajama bottoms or pants, along with his distinctive goggles, lab coat, gloves, and other accessories. What little hair he does have is somewhat long and curly. Dr. Nefario lives in Gru's underground lair and works in his laboratories as Gru's gadgeteer, because he creates and constructs the majority of Gru's machines. For several years, Gru and Dr. Nefario appear to have been attempting to shock the public with the true crime of the century. Gru is still regarded as one of the greats in the world of supervillains by Nefario, even though he has reservations about his goals owing to a lack of resources and his newly discovered affection for his adopted daughters. These have a relationship that would stand the test of time, just like how we'll never forget how this cosplayer certainly understood the assignment. He looks like the carbon copy of Dr. Nefario. Wild, isn't it?
Fear not, for here come the gallant knights to save us.
Number 3. Margot Gru. Margot Gru is a felonious Gru, and Lucy Wilde's adultest adopted child. Like her younger sisters, Edith and Agnes, she was an orphan before being adopted, and Miss Hattie treated her brutally during these years. Margot hoped to be adopted by someone who would adore her, and thankfully, she eventually got her wish. The serious and responsible first child Margot is a young woman of fair skin with brown hair pulled back into a ponytail and secured with a white hair tie. She also has brown eyes and black square-rimmed glasses. She is constantly shown sporting a faded green jacket, a navy and purple plaid skirt with white socks, a pair of red and white striped high-top Converse sneakers, a black t-shirt, and a white button-up underneath. Margot's look is so easy for the everyday girl to pull off, so it's no surprise that cosplayer did a splendid job. Doesn't she look exactly like Margot?
Okay, I see where this is going with all the Mission Impossible stuff, but no.
Number 2. Gru. The primary character of the Despicable Me franchise is Felonious Gru, the son of Marlena Gru and the late Robert Gru. He is also a former supervillain. Gru is a tall, balding man with blue eyes, a long nose, and a broad, powerful build. He wears a dark stone gray sweater with a zipper under a black coat with a collar, a scarf striped, with space blue and gray, and black pants, as well as shoes. His legs and limbs are noticeably larger than his body, and he has a heavy accent. That makes recreating this look extremely difficult to pull off, but it wouldn't hinder someone with dedication. That such person is Steve Carell. He wanted to embody his character and role and felt it would be pretty cool to showcase an outfit of him dressed as Gru. The result is not entirely accurate, especially with Gru's physical form. However, there was an attempt, and it was a very good one. Number 1. Minions. In the Despicable Me film universe, minions are a species of imaginary yellow critters. They are distinguished by their baby-like mannerisms and their most incomprehensible language. The minions are little, yellow capsule-shaped creatures with a single or several eyeball and are credited with providing the majority of the humor in the movie. They frequently communicate in Minionese, a nonsensical language with brief English interludes. While we can't trace the origin of the language, we found the closest thing to a minion in real life, and it's possible they were inspired by a real-life photo taken in 1908, which shows the crew of the British submarine HMS C7. Can you spot the similarities?
Oh, we're making great progress. I'll try some of these.
Which character on our list was your favorite? Which cosplayer do you think nailed their outfits and style? Tell us in the comments.
We have a big recital coming up. We're doing an excerpt from Swan Lake.
Yeah, Swan Lake.
That's fantastic. Wonderful.